Good day and welcome to my webinar on intelligent solutions for modular plant and P&ID design. My name is Gary Wilson and I'm an application engineer at Kaizen PLM, with our sister company being Park Electrical Services. I'm also joined today by Anthony Reardon, who is Technical Director of Kaizen PLM, and he would just like to mention a few words before I begin presenting.
Thanks very much, Gary. I'm Anthony O'Riordan from Kaizen PLM. I base myself from County Limerick in the Republic of Ireland, and Kaizen PLM are going for over 4 years now. We're a Gold Solutions partner for Siemens Industry Software. As Gary mentioned, we're a sister company of Park Electrical Services and Underwoods in the UK. And we deliver the full portfolio of Siemens industry software products. We're fully supported by a global team of experts at Siemens. So we do CAD, CAM, 3D simulation, product lifecycle management, manufacturing execution systems, really a full suite of engineering and manufacturing software. We also absolutely love to work with SimCenter 3D, for thermal simulation, flow simulation, acoustics, electromagnetic analysis, you name it. So if you have any requirements at all for engineering software, just let us know and we'll see what we can do for you. Thanks again. Now over to you, Gary.
Let's take a look at today's agenda. And initially I'll be giving you a nice little introduction about who I am and also some more information about Kaizen PLM. And then I also will be discussing and giving you a nice little overview of what is modular plant design and discussing some interesting trends and challenges in process plant and equipment design and how intelligent CAD solutions can help to meet these challenges. Then I'll be talking about the Siemens Digital Innovation Platform and where does the Solid Edge portfolio fit into this. And then towards the end, I'll be going into Solid Edge modular plant design, discussing its capabilities, its value proposition, case studies, and giving a nice demonstration of what it actually looks like. And then finally at the end, there'll be a moment for Q&A. And if you don't mind as well, while I'm presenting the webinar, if you have any questions, if you can please put them in the chat. And we'll do our best to answer them during the webinar, at the end, or a little bit later. Well, just a bit more information about me. As mentioned earlier, I'm an application engineer working at Kaizen PLM, and I'm based in Ireland. I've been working for Kaizen for just over 3 months now, but I'm definitely not new to industry. I worked for almost 20 years at the Siemens Digital Industries Factory Automation Division based in Johannesburg, South Africa. And during those years at Siemens, I was exposed to various different industries ranging from automotive to food and beverage to mining and various other process industries. I evolved into an automation system specialist role where I did a bit of PLCs, SCADA systems, and even a bit of DCS systems. I did field service for a short while and even worked on an automotive project in Mercedes-Benz. And towards the end of my career at Siemens, I moved into a portfolio consulting professional role within our HMI team. I'm a registered professional technologist with the Engineering Council of South Africa, and I'm also registered with Engineers Ireland as a professional associate engineer. My work interests are virtual commissioning, digitalization, and additive manufacturing. Well, let's give you a quick summary again around who is Kaizen PLM. They are Siemens Digital Industries Software Gold Solution Partners, as Anthony mentioned earlier, and they are into design, manufacturing, simulation, and they provide PLM solutions that are supported by the many specialists from the Siemens DISW division. They are also smart additive manufacturing product specialist partners for the United Kingdom and Ireland, and that's where Kaizen AM comes into that part of the business. And as mentioned earlier, their sister company Park Electrical Services, which has also recently acquired Underwood's Electrical Distributors in the United Kingdom, has offices in Aberdeen, Belfast, Dublin, Glasgow, and Wrexham, while Underwood's has offices in many different locations within the UK. And finally, they're also into 3D scanning, sales, and services. Let's take a look at Kaizen PLM and their offering. And this can be seen nicely by looking at the Siemens Digital Innovation Platform. As we can see in the below image, the Siemens software portfolio offers a lot more than just CAD. Siemens are the largest engineering software company in the world, and they offer everything from manufacturing execution systems to electronic design and even low-code app development platforms. Well, there's definitely a trend towards modular plant design. And the reason being, it replaces large-scale on-site construction with more smaller-scale modular construction on-site. And we can see here from the Hydrocarbon Processing magazine 2016, modularization is definitely a key to success in today's market. And it really does improve project development and execution and reduces costs. Well, another trend to keep in mind with regards to modular design is mentioned in the Oil Sands Review magazine in May 2013, where Fred Haney, who is the Executive Director of Design Engineering at the Fluor Corporation, mentions that by using a modular system, there's a total reduction in costing, almost 20%. And by using a modular system, it can shrink a complete process plant typically down, and there can be almost a 60% space saving, which is really good. Let's take a look at some typical application areas where modular plant design can work really well. Energy and utilities, one area. Industrial machinery. Industrial food processing equipment. And there's some nice pictures on the right here. Let's also talk about some interesting terminology with regards to modular plant design. And on the right here, we have some nice pictures as an example from the customer Calder UK. And we can see that these modular plants can fit onto skids, into crash frames, into containers, and often as well, these modular plants have to go into hazardous areas or environments. Well, for intelligent solutions for modular plant design, let's go into some trends and challenges along with that. One of the challenges about building modular plants is that they have to be engineered to order. And this has a major impact on the requirements, even for the best design engineers. And they need to be in a position where they can really add value and also offer significant expertise with regards to the customer requirement. Another challenge to keep in mind is that process plants can consist of very large assemblies, and they can also consist of very specific, maybe hazardous environments. Another challenge to definitely keep in mind is with regards to standardization and safety, and using standard pipes and fittings where possible to comply to regulations and to keep costs down. While also there are many other safety regulations for specific environments, hazardous environments that need to be met. And with regards to the design, it needs to be designed in a way for ease of maintenance for operators to use the equipment in the facility. Well, for modular plant design, how can intelligent CAD solutions help to meet these challenges? Well, the 2D CAD P&ID design diagram is an essential step for the design of any process plant. And if we can use that diagram to also design the 3D mechanical process plant model, that would be a great feature. Also, during the design phase in P&ID, if you can be prompted to select standard parts like pipes and fittings to reduce lead times, that'd be great. And also, if you can have a bill of materials at the end, that is a feature that you've got to have. What I really like as well is this is an example out of Solid Edge, and we can see here that in the design context for the environment, we can import 3D models of the environment, like the buildings, your terrain, and you can scan them in, and then you can actually see how your process plant design fits with this infrastructure. Well, using intelligent CAD solutions can also help to make the design process a lot faster and make it more flexible, and using standards that you need to use in your design. A very nice thing about 3D models is that now we can analyze and visualize what this model is going to look like. And using that, we can see loads, how the load will be affected by models, analyze fluid flows, heat transfer. We can also integrate utilities and other services and routing cables together with that, using i.e. Solid Edge Electrical, which I presented a few weeks ago. We are also able to visualize the final design, create isometric 3D diagrams, do renderings, and even create walkthrough animations. Well, using intelligent CAD solutions can definitely also help to improve collaboration and compliance with standards and regulations. And we can see here that you can create a bill of materials much quicker and easier, creating documentation for suppliers and manufacturers much quicker and easier. Maybe also sharing of 3D design models via cloud-based environments, and also keeping a track of your design to make sure you're obeying regulations by maybe using an audit trail. Now what I'm going to go into specifically Solid Edge modular plant design and give you an overview of that. Well, let's take a look at the digital innovation platform that Siemens offers. And in this platform, it consists of various areas and aspects and solutions, all the way from mechanical design to simulation to manufacturing execution systems, and then even to analytics and apps. Within this digital innovation platform, Solid Edge fits into various areas. It has aspects of mechanical design. You can do electronic circuit board PCB design. You can do electrical design, which is what I presented a few weeks ago. Simulation can be done, and even design for manufacturing is available. Well, let's take a look at the Solid Edge portfolio, and there are different pillars or packages that are available. And as I mentioned earlier, mechanical design, electrical design is what I presented a few weeks ago. Simulation, manufacturing design, technical publications, data management. And we even have the Solid Edge portal where you can actually collaborate and share your designs. This is the Solid Edge modular plant design workflow, and it's very critical to remember this. Number one is to first create our 2D P&ID schematic. Then we can convert that in Solid Edge into a 3D piping design, which is almost like a digital twin of the P&ID schematic. Then for the process industry, we can output these designs into isometric drawings. Well, looking at this Solid Edge P&ID or process and implementation diagram, there are many symbol libraries available too, and these symbol libraries support international standards. The Solid Edge P&ID design package can be used standalone, but it also can be used in conjunction with Solid Edge and also Solid Edge piping design. And it's probably better to use them all together, integrated together, because then it adds more value. Here are some key capabilities and the workflow process of Solid Edge P&ID design. Number one is we can include symbols from our included database, and these support the industry standards for P&ID creation. We can add unique tag numbers. We can easily create pipelines and set the pipe specification and size from the database. We can actually automatically create components, rotate them to the correct direction, and place them in the diagram. We can create lists, reports, and bombs. We can actually create intelligent PDFs where you can hover over it and there's tooltip text. There's also highlighting between P&ID design and piping design modules. The Solid Edge Piping Design package provides an automated 3D piping design solution with comprehensive 3D part libraries, and fully automated isometric drawing output is available. Well, The automated 3D piping design package allows for much faster design of the piping system. And as I mentioned in the previous slide, it can run standalone and provide full 3D CAD design of the piping system. It also provides a fully automated isometric drawing output via the PCF format using the integrated IsoGen functionality. Well, yeah, some nice key capabilities and the workflow process of Solid Edge piping design. Much of this I've actually mentioned already, but I also will be demonstrating this a bit later, um, some of these nice features. Looking at the Solid Edge piping design package and talking more about the isometric diagram creation. As I mentioned earlier, specifically in the process industry and also other industries as well. Isometric diagrams that are generated are really helpful because they show all the different fittings, all the different pipes, the lengths, and all the components that are used in a particular area in a process plant. And it's based, as I mentioned, on the IsoGen standard, and it uses IsoGen to produce and generate the isometric drawings. Just some additional capabilities and applications is that it supports profiles for cable trays, like we can see in the diagram here, and HVAC and ducting, which is very nice. And it creates a BOM automatically, as I mentioned. Here we can see some more information about the libraries that are available, and the 2D P&ID symbol library can be seen at the top. We also have the 3D piping and fitting library, and that can be seen in the bottom two pictures. Very nice. Well, there are many additional benefits to using Solid Edge modular plant design, and I listed a few of them here. And they can be for designers that work efficiently with massive assemblies, maybe 100,000 parts or thereabouts. And we can see a nice picture on the top right. Looks like a large mine mill assembly there. And using Solid Edge as well, we can use synchronous technology, which is really awesome because you can rapidly adapt and make changes to your initial design. And using Express Route, we can actually route pipes through 3D assemblies very easily and nicely, which is integrated into Solid Edge. And we also have Solid Edge frames capability for fast creation of structures and frames. And as I mentioned as well, the 2D diagrams can be created very quickly and they obey international standards. These are a few opportunities and benefits with regards to Solid Edge portfolio. Well, if you're really using Solid Edge modular plant design, you could also start using Solid Edge simulation for stress analysis. Maybe Solid Edge Flow EFD for 3D fluid and heat transfer analysis. As I mentioned a few weeks ago, I presented Solid Edge electrical design for routing and harness design. We could also start using Solid Edge requirements management to capture and fulfill customers' regulatory requirements. And in the wider Siemens PLM software, the opportunity is to use Team Center, where multiple engineers who are doing design can collaborate much easier. And we have the FlowMaster package, which allows for 1D analysis of flow in complex piping systems. Here are the different software models that are available for Solid Edge modular plant design. So we have the P&ID symbol library, and that links up very nicely with the Solid Edge P&ID design module. And then we have the piping design library, and that fits in with the Solid Edge piping design module. And these two actually interface and exchange data between each other. Now, this is a very interesting case study for a customer called Casper Schultz, and they use Solid Edge modular plant design to manufacture brewery equipment. And they had many challenges. The reason being was that they were using different software systems, and there was manual transfer from one system to the other, like for P&ID design to pipe creation or to structural creation in the 3D design world. And the BOM creation, all that just wasn't integrated. And you can see what the customer says here, Christian Montag, the design team leader, he says, the integrated solution for pipe routing has made us up to 3 times faster in comparison to our early procedure. The modifications due to errors that are not detected until production have decreased tremendously. So this is really a nice benefit and a nice references. This is another very interesting customer case study for a customer called Kaiser Compressorum. And this particular customer, they design and manufacture compressors like you see in the picture on the right. And they had various challenges. They wanted to actually speed up their design because they were working too slowly. And they wanted to reduce errors and avoid expense with regards to the design. And the solution was using solid edge piping design and solid mechanical design. They were actually able to reduce their development time and react quickly to meet the customer requirements. Let's now go into our demonstration. And in this demonstration, there are three main things I'll be going over. Number one is how to create intelligent P&IDs. Then how to link these P&IDs to the 3D model. And then also how to automatically create isometric diagrams. Let's now go into Solid Edge. And Solid Edge allows for the speedy creation of intelligent P&ID schematics and 3D piping design, ensuring the design is right the first time, every time. This provides an engineer with quick access to tools for piping, P&ID schematics, and the creation of isometrics. We begin our demonstration with a 3D assembly model of a plant design for a vapor recovery system. And looking at the 3D model, on the left we have our piping design dialog, and on the right of the model we have our P&ID schematics design sheets listed here. What I'd actually like to do is just filter these sheets to just see the components and the pipelines that are available. And I just would like to adjust my view and move the model up a bit so I can see my P&ID sheet and cross-reference the sheet to see the various components that are in the model. What I can then do as well, look at my P&ID diagram, I can see various tabs at the bottom, cover sheets, index pages, and on sheet number 2, this is where we'll be working. In this sheet, if I go to the component database, I would like to add a new component that meets our specification for a pump. And we'll select that one over there. And by pressing spacebar, we can rotate it to the right direction. And yes, we'll use it like that. And we'll give it a name. And we'll call it P3000. What we'll then do is we now want to connect our pipes to the pump. And we'll use the red pipes from the menu on the top, and using the nodes in red, we'll connect the different joints together. Great. What I then do is if I double click on the pipe and I put in the line number name, PL300, that's the name we'll use, I then click on the button called Select Pipe Specification and Size. What it then does, it chooses a pipe that meets our specifications that we're already using in our project. Great, and we've done that now and given it a name. We can then very neatly move our labels around. And what I can then do is, if I choose place, I can then place a globe valve, and I can place this valve in specification in the pipe. And this valve, we'll call it GV300. And what's very nice is it really fits into the right direction into the pipe. And there's the name that we can move to wherever we want. Very nice. And there's our P&ID schematic. And you can see now as well, on the tabs at the bottom, I see our bill of materials. And if I click the update the list, the new components I've added, the pump, the valve, the pipes are added to the list. And if I go to export to PDF, it very nicely creates a updated intelligent PDF. And let's have a look at it. There we go. We see our cover sheet, our index sheet. We can then see our different designs and our new design with our new objects we added into it. and with some lovely tooltip text added in there. And that's why I call it a very, very nice to use PDF that's intelligent. What I'm then going to do is go into our model again. We now want to update our P&ID list sheet on the right here of the model. And we click refresh from P&ID project. And what we should see is in the P&ID list, we should see some new components marked in orange that were added to our number 2 P&ID sheet. And we're physically now going to add them into the new model. What I'll then do is let's select our pump. And if we right click on it, and we then select place fitting to CAD, and then we just select where it will actually go, and we see all the specs about it here as well. What's very nice is that we want to place this pump maybe there for the moment, but we actually want to move it onto the grid there. And what's quite cool is that there's even a mounting like position available for the pump as well for us to use. What I'll then do is I now want to add the pipes that will link the pump to the flange of where it needs to go to. So I can very nicely select cross connect, and it shows you exactly the 2 dots. So where's this pipe going to actually go to from beginning to end? What's very nice is there's some cool features that are available in Solid Edge, and there's a feature called Express Route, which allows us to actually automatically select the best path from beginning to end. And we'll do that now, and we'll select our pipeline like we have over there. And from Tools, we choose Express Route. And from the Quick Select, we'll choose Path Express. And that actually automatically, once you've selected the right point in the flange, will select the right path where it needs to connect to. Great. So very neat, very nice. And that's our line diagram of our pipe path we can actually use. Now all that needs to be done, we click finish, and there it is actually completed. But that's just a line now, a line connection of where it needs to go to, beginning to end. Now what I want to do is, I am going to, as you see here, I've selected my pipe PL300, and I want to actually add the pipeline specification that I'm using to that line. And now I just say assign pipeline, and it very neatly adds it in. Just give it a minute. And very nicely it imports all information, all the specs that I'm using, and all the particular pins that are available are put into it as well. All the flanges that need to be added are added in as well. Very nice. The last step I'm going to do now is, our pipeline route is now complete. I want to add my glow valve into it, and that's quite easy to do. So all we're going to do is that top flange for the pipeline connection, I'm just going to delete that and remove that, and we're going to insert the glow valve into there actually. And we just need to make sure that the glow valve is oriented in the right position. Great. And now it's nicely aligned. And there we go. You can now see the P&ID list is completely updated now. It's all got green ticks. And you can see how nicely the workflow is, because the P&ID design schematic is filtering down to the 3D model design, the 3D mechanical design, which is really, really nice. Great. What I'd like to go into next now is, we have our design model now, and our updates now included I would like to now create our isometrics and going to and selecting purely the new items we added now into our model and going to Modular Plant Design and selecting the isometrics wizard. There are a few steps involved in this wizard, and we just select the ends we want to use, and there we go. Pretty much we now want to convert to CAD and what we want to get out of it, and click Finish, and we should see a very neat isometric diagram available where it indicates all the pipe lengths, all the fittings, all the weld points that are available, and a materials list and everything that we need that's actually needed for manufacturing. Very, very nice. And there are two isometric diagrams, and we can go into one of the isometric diagrams over here and see what it actually looks like, and we can see our updates that are available here. Great. Very, very nice. And that's pretty much all I want to present for the demonstration. For some more information, here are some helpful links to take a look at. So great, we've actually now reached the end of our webinar, and I'd just like to summarize some of the benefits that we discussed in the earlier slides. And number one is, of course, we have increased reliability and consistency. And the reason being is that there's less room to make error because we have, as soon as we update Solid Edge P&ID Design, it updates the 3D piping design and the isometric drawings, all that are all interconnected. And remember, it's a database-driven solution, so there's great reporting and lists, and a bill of materials is automatically created for you. And yeah, some last few benefits I'd like to summarize for Solid Edge modular plant design. And of course, it's much faster to design process plant projects using this method, as there's much speedier creation, validation, revision, and because of all the interconnected systems like P&ID design to piping design through to the isometric drawings. It's also much easier to access the pipe specifications and ensure you're meeting standards. Pipe fabrication problems are also reduced through the automatic creation of bombs. Well, I've talked a lot, and now I'd like to give you a moment to ask any questions that you may have. Along with any questions, I'd also like to say thank you very much from me and also Kaizen PLM, and provided my contact details, my number, my email address, and a few useful website links. Other than that, that's pretty much the end of the webinar, and thank you very much for attending.